Hey everyone, my name is Mary Kay Grimaldi, and I am here to talk to you about my field experience practicum site for my Bachelor's of Psychology degree. Here's a little bit about what I did and what I experienced. Let's get started. My site was at the Pumpkin Patch Child Development Center in South Kansas City. They're a child development center that provides child care for children 6 weeks old to 6 years old. Their mission is to provide a warm, personal, and loving environment in order that your child will grow and develop intellectually, emotionally, physically, and socially. I chose the site to gain more experience working with children in a new environment. During my time there, I worked and observed 7 of the 9 rooms. While I was in the infant rooms, 6 weeks to 12 months old, some of my responsibilities included feeding the babies their bottles, putting the babies down for their naps, entertaining the babies, observing the baby's development, and how the workers interacted with the babies. While I was in the older rooms, 13 months to 5 years old, some of my activities included playing with the children in their rooms or on the inside playground, which was definitely one of the best parts, communicating with the children, observing the children playing, and observing the workers' interactions with the children. There were a few days where I would toss the ball downstairs by the inside playground, and it was definitely one of my favorite times. Or help them go down the slides. I even helped some of the toddlers with their coloring. It was refreshing to be able to communicate with the older children and participate with what they loved doing. Before I arrived at the center, I created some personal and professional goals. Some professional goals of mine that I set were that I wanted to create more of a professional side of myself for when I go into the workforce. I also wanted to learn how to be more professional with parents and other workers. A few personal goals that I had set included pushing myself to go out of my comfort zone, become more open to new possibilities, and take chances. After completing my hours, I was able to accomplish the goals that I had set. I became a better professional and became better at being more professional with parents and other coworkers. Personally, while I was at my center, I was able to be pushed out of my comfort zone and gain control of my position at the center. I also realized that my dream is to work more with preschool-aged children and eventually open up my own child development center. Because of my interest in working with preschool-aged children, I wanted to make a psychology connection with my practicum experience surrounding that age group. Preschool is the beginning of a child's education and will impact their future learning for many years. It is also the starting point of many different psychological developments. McClure, as referenced on the bottom, says that children learn social and emotional development, school readiness, how to promote language and cognitive skills, academics, and self-confidence while at preschool. They also learn how to think for themselves, how to compromise, and learn how to be students. Preschool is a great way for children to learn the structure of a classroom and provides them the environment where they can gain a sense of self. A quality preschool helps children explore, experiment, and find things that they enjoy doing. I viewed this type of structure when I was observing the preschool-aged children at my site. They had a schedule they followed, which included daily circle time, where the children would go over colors, weather, the calendar, alphabet, and so much more. It was fascinating for me to see the children firsthand with the psychology knowledge in the back of my head. I am excited to apply a similar structure and use my psychology background at my center when the time comes. My field site's goal is to provide an environment where kids can grow and learn in many different ways. My experience with understanding lifespan development contributed to how I approached my site. After learning how people develop, especially children, through some of my psychology courses, I was able to look at the center from a different perspective than I had in the past. I also learned that although children might not know as much as adults do, they are still human and should be treated just like us. I can't wait for the opportunity to use what I have learned from my degree in the future. I experienced some challenges while working at my site. The first challenge I faced was that my supervisor wasn't present the first few weeks I was there. This made it hard to navigate around the center when I first arrived. I mostly stayed in the same room, the infant room, for the beginning of my time because of this obstacle. There was also a lot of inconsistency in who I was working with, because many of the workers were not consistently working in the same rooms. This made it difficult to observe and see how I should be interacting with the children because people do things so differently. Although it made it a little frustrating, I was able to gain a lot of experience observing numerous workers. My experience at Pumpkin Patch taught me many different lessons. One of the first lessons I learned is that every place you work at is different. There may be some similarities, but overall the dynamic of the workplace is always going to be different. Another lesson I learned is to be open-minded. You never know what could happen or what insight you could gain. This gives you a chance to create new experiences and learn more information. The third lesson I learned is that it is important to give yourself the time and patience you need to adjust to a new setting and learn how the environment works. It is okay to feel anxious for a while when you first start working in a new place. You will get into the swing of things in time. Lastly, never be afraid to incorporate knowledge from other experiences into what you are currently doing. It is important to take past experiences and apply them to your current life situations. Finally, I would like to give some advice to future students who are thinking about doing their practicum experience at Pumpkin Patch. First, I would say that it is a great place to do your practicum at. I would also like to let you know that it has some work to do in terms of its organization amongst the center. Also, even if you are set on a specific age group, I highly encourage you to work with the majority of the rooms, if not all of them. It is very important to go to a lot of the rooms, even for a little bit, to see what the atmosphere is like in each room and experience the atmosphere of the entire center. You may surprise yourself and end up liking a certain age group more than your initial thoughts, like I did. Lastly, you should treat the center like it is a job instead of just an observation task. This means you should participate, ask questions, and learn how the overall setting works. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to comment below. Thank you. Have a great day.